All right, let's tackle the big one. The question every single person with a great idea has to face. Is this amazing, maybe even world-changing concept actually a business? That's it. That's the billion-dollar question we're going to figure out today. You know the feeling, right? That lightning bolt moment where an idea just hits you and you think, this is it. This is the one. But then, what? That excitement can pretty quickly turn into uncertainty, even paralysis. How do you actually get from that spark to a real plan? Well, that's exactly what we're here to do.
And the good news? You don't have to just guess and hope for the best. There is a path, a kind of treasure map that can lead you to the answer. It's called market analysis. Now, I know that sounds a little dry, but trust me, it's the single most powerful tool for turning a dream into a decision. So let's walk through it. Okay, first things first. Before you dive in, you have to know how big the swimming pool is. Are we talking about a small backyard pond or a massive ocean of opportunity? It's all about sizing up your playground. So we start with the biggest, most optimistic number out there, the total addressable market, or TAM. Just think of this as the entire universe of demand for what you're offering. If every single potential customer on planet Earth bought your product, this is the revenue you'd make. It's the biggest possible prize. You usually find these big picture numbers in industry reports. Okay, now let's bring it back down to Earth. You probably can't serve the entire planet from day one. So the next step is to figure out your serviceable available market, or SAM. This is the slice of that giant TAM pie that you can realistically reach with your sales team, your marketing, and your product, right where you are. And this brings us to the most critical number of all, the serviceable obtainable market, or SOM. This is your target. This is the piece of that reachable market that you can actually realistically win in the near future, especially when you factor in your competition. This is the number you build your actual business plan around. And this is just a perfect way to visualize it. Think about it like this. The TAM is the entire ocean, all the fish in the sea. The SAM is the specific part of the ocean you've decided to drop your nets in. And your SOM, well, that's the actual fish you can reasonably expect to haul onto your boat. Thinking this way is absolutely essential, especially when you're trying to convince other people your plan is solid. Okay, so you know the size of your ocean. The next clue on our treasure map is to check the currents. Is this a market that's picking up speed, or is it starting to slow down? It's time to read the market's pulse. And here's how you do it. You look at two really simple things. First, you look backward. What was the growth like for the last, say, 3 to 5 years? Then, you look forward. What are the experts projecting for the next 3 to 5 years? You really need to know if you're about to catch a massive wave that will carry you forward, or if you're about to paddle straight into a headwind. Now, to understand that growth, you need to know what's pushing the accelerator and what's hitting the brakes. I love this analogy. You've got your market drivers, that's the engine, fueling demand and opening up new doors, and then you've got your market restraints. Those are the brakes, the challenges that could slow everything down. So what do these forces actually look like? Well, a driver could be a hot new technology that suddenly makes your idea possible, or maybe a big shift in what customers want. These are the winds at your back. On the flip side, restraints could be things like complicated government regulations, or maybe a tough economy that makes people hesitant to spend. Figuring these out isn't just homework, it's the core of your strategy. So, you've sized up the market, you've felt its pulse. But here's the thing about a healthy, growing market. It attracts sharks. So, now it's time to survey the battlefield, because no matter how brilliant your idea is, you are almost never alone. You have got to know who you're up against. A really fast way to get a feel for the competitive landscape is to look at market concentration. Is all the money and power in the hands of a few giant companies? Or is it a fragmented market with tons of smaller players and maybe some room for a newcomer like you? This tells you pretty quickly if you're David trying to take on a handful of Goliaths. And you've got to dig deeper than just that. How many major rivals are there, really? What are the biggest risks you face just trying to get in the game? A huge one is what we call barriers to entry. Is it super expensive to even get started? Or can you launch on a shoestring? Knowing this stuff dictates everything, from your strategy to how much money you might need to raise. All right, you've done the work. You've gathered all the clues off the map. You measured the market, you checked its momentum, you've scouted the competition. It all leads to this single moment. Making the final call, the go or no-go decision. And it really all boils down to this one question. You have to ask yourself, does the target market show strong and sustainable growth potential that justifies the entry and the investment?
Notice it's not just about being big, it's about being healthy and having a real future. This is the ultimate litmus test for your idea. But here's the amazing part. By doing all this, you're not just guessing anymore. You're not just hoping. By following this map, by figuring out your TAM, SAM, and SOM, by understanding what's driving growth, you've gathered actual evidence. You now have everything you need to answer that critical question with real confidence.
So there it is, the framework, the treasure map. It's in your hands now. You have the tools to tell the difference between a passing daydream and a real foundational business. So the only question left is the one that only you can answer. Where are you going to go next?